With Sulem Urbina. She'll be fighting this Friday here at the Bank of California Stadium. First of all, how do you feel about this opportunity?
I feel blessed to be here. It's a great opportunity against, I believe, the best flyweight champion. Naomi has a great trajectory coming out of Japan, the most decorated boxer from Japan. I have nothing but respect for her, and I know that we're going to get in there and we're going to give the fans a great fight.
You mentioned your last fight. You're coming off a defeat to Esparza. How does how did that serve as a learning experience for you?
Definitely a big learning experience. I own up to my loss, but I recognize I made a lot of mistakes leading up to the fight. Might have, overtrained and wanted it a little too much, but no excuses. I own up to my loss, and I know what I have to improve on.
You mentioned you gave a little insight on your opponent. What kind of style does she bring to the ring? What makes her, the challenge?
She's a challenge because she's fought everybody and anybody. She's beaten big names. She's been a 5-division world champion. She's a warrior in there. She comes forward. She comes to fight. She's exciting to watch. She's one of those fighters that you're like, oh my God, she just doesn't stop. She keeps coming, and I'm very excited about that.
How was this preparation? You mentioned you picked up from whatever you learned from your mistakes, you doing things differently. What is it that you're doing different?
Well, definitely staying more focused. Got to go in there with a cold mind. Can't get in the heat of the moment and just want to rip my opponent's head off. Definitely got to go in there smart. But it's a great fight, and I'm excited.
You talked about you don't want to go in there ripping an opponent's head off. You have to, not too many know who you are. Talk to us about your style. What kind of fighter are you inside the ring? What do you, what is it that?
I like to entertain the fan base. The fans love to see a good brawl. So I love to do that, but I also know how to box. I have an extensive amateur background. I know how to box, and I have a lot of tools in my pouch, and I can use all my tools to, pull out the win this Friday night.
You have an amateur background, great amateur background, amateur pedigree. Give a little insights on what some of your accomplishments were as an amateur.
Well, I was on the Mexican national team from 2009 to about 2016. I did Central American Games, Pan American Games, a lot of international competitions where I medaled. I also went to the Olympic qualifiers. Fell short from qualifying, and that's when I decided to turn pro. But I'm well traveled, and I learned a lot in the amateurs to get me to where I am in the pros now.
How would you describe the state of women's boxing? Growing up, when I was a kid, I remember watching Christy Martin, and that was just one name, and then more names followed after that, and now it's become more trendy.
When I was a kid, I used to watch Christy Martin, and then we have to thank all the women that have come before us. But then for a little while, there was a huge pause in boxing first in the United States. Argentina, Mexico, they push women's boxing a lot. In Europe is doing the same. But the purses aren't there. We don't get the respect that we deserve. There's still a lot of fans that don't follow it, don't believe in it. And little by little, we're winning that big crowd because Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, they're all pushing women, and they're putting us on these big stages. I never imagined myself, fighting for a world championship on such a beautiful stage at the Bank of California Stadium and fighting the best flyweight in the world. It's a huge stage. It's a beautiful experience for me. I'm here to enjoy it, and it's a huge step for me.
What made you go into boxing? What was it? What moment was it, or what fighter was it where you just said, I want to do that?
Well, I'm Mexican, so Mexicans, it's a religion, we watch boxing religiously. I remember we used to live in the neighborhood, and back in the day it was pay-per-view, and you had these little boxes, and whoever paid for the fight, it was barbecue at their house. Everybody would come over and watch the fights. I grew up watching all of them, and it's just it's in our blood. Then I'm the only woman in my family. I have 4 brothers, and so I always wanted to prove that I was strong like them. So when they started attending a local boxing club, I said I gotta tag along and show them that I can do it too.
You obviously you pretty much made the name for the family, right?
Well, I have a older brother that actually turned pro, and he had about 9 fights, I believe. Unfortunately, you know, he made some wrong decisions going with the wrong people, and I like learning from my mistakes, but I prefer learning from others' mistakes. And I saw a lot of the things that happened, you know, to him and to other boxers around me, so I knew to move differently, to do things differently.
And lastly, what can we expect from you fight night? Or fight day? What can the fans expect? What can we, the media, expect?
The fans can expect a great fight. You know, Naoko's a fighter that comes forward. I'm a fighter that likes to entertain. The fans are going to really win in this one, and I'm very excited.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.